Hi, welcome to the Peachtree World News. We're live, we're nervous. We just got here. It's a bad snowstorm today and everyone's freezing, especially the Singaporeans. And they say, so what's that white stuff coming out of the sky? I said, that's called snow. Oh, so today we have a very beautiful show planned. It's a great show. About our Russian-speaking friends and our friends from Russia and our friends from Ukraine. Both agreed to come to Arizona and be on the Peachtree World News. And for me, it's just very exciting. I told somebody in town yesterday about it, and they're like, wow, that's so beautiful. And I think it's just a beautiful thing. So what do you say?
Yeah, we're very lucky. Why don't you tell them what we have in store for today's exciting show? You tell them a little, I'll tell them a little.
Okay. Yes. As you hear, this is a special show for our friends, Russian-speaking countries, Russia, Ukraine, especially. They have been working in a very interesting project called the Gold Club, and it happens to have a birthday. It's his 4th birthday, so we are here together to celebrate. We're gonna hear a lot of what they are doing and where are they going. So you will see the show is gonna be very, very imbued with their particular taste. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, we're very lucky. We have a really cool lineup planned for you today. We're fortunate that every episode we get to work with these amazing organizers from all over the world. So they show up and they give us these ideas and we learn and we work with them on the show. So we're trying something new today. We're very excited. We're going to be bringing you some more relaxing content, kind of like a reality TV show style today, where we'll be learning more about them personally and the things that they like and just have a good time together, working together to, again, spread the wisdom and the love of the Worldview Network. So we're very excited. And without further ado, we're going to go over to our other set and welcome. We have Peter, Maria, and we have Victoria. So please say hello to them, guys.
Yay. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone. And we are so happy to be here in Sedona and Arizona. It's so strange. The snow is here today. My name is Maria Mertel, and originally I am from Russia. And now I live together with Peter Mertel, my husband. We live in Vienna, in Austria. And we are extremely happy that Geshe Michael invited all of us to celebrate together the birthday of the Gold Club community. By the way, are there any people from the Gold Club here watching this show right now? Please type plus if you're in the Gold Club. Let me know. I'm watching your comments.
Let's check the chat.
Yes, we can see it there. Anyone from the Gold Club here?
Yay.
Yay, thank you. And happy birthday, everyone. If you're not from the Gold Club, we will share some stories about what is this, why is it so cool, a little bit later. And what about myself? I am studying this wisdom and teaching this ancient wisdom about 10 years. Together with Peter and together with Victoria. We were remembering today how we met 10 years ago. Actually, there is one more celebration. 10 years of our friendship.
You stealing my words. She's stealing my speech.
Yes. And 4 years ago, together with Peter and Victoria was helping us, we created the Gold Club. It's a very special Russian-speaking community of people who are there from 55 countries. They all speak Russian language. They're from Russia, from Ukraine, from Kazakhstan, from Uzbekistan, from Europe, from America, all over. And they support the Asian Legacy Library. They give small money every month. They give donations, $1, $10, some people $100. And all together we collect, I think, very good help to help to save ancient wisdom and books for future generations. And we are also practicing this wisdom together. And this is a very special,
It's the hard part.
special community for me, because all these people are such kind people and nice people. It's like rare people, like diamonds in this world. They all love each other. They study seed system and they help each other. Whenever there is someone has a problem, everyone tries to help you. So very unusual, no competition. Everyone is trying to help each other. And this is very, very special community for me. And I would like to give the microphone to Victoria, my dear friend from Ukraine. And I'm so happy to see her. We didn't meet each other for like a couple of years.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Thank you for coming here. It's a special occasion for us. My name is Victoria Trangul, and I am here really for you and to support my friends. You know, this is really special occasion for me because I met Maria and Peter 10 years ago, and I met Geshe Michael Roach 10 years ago. And it's really great anniversary for me personally. And I guess it's not a coincidence that we are here, right? So I'm also met this ancient wisdom 10 years ago, and my life dramatically changed since then. Of course, during that time, I established a company with my husband, Diamond Wisdom Institute, which teaches Ukrainian and Russians and Kazakhstan people, let's say Ukrainian and Russian speaking people, right, teaches a seed system based on their cultural values and backgrounds. So, but I'm a DCI teacher, and now I'm here to celebrate 4 years University of Gold Club. And we want you to celebrate this day with us all together. Thank you.
Thank you, Vika. My name is Peter Myrtle. It's a huge honor to be here. I've heard so much about the Peachtree show, the Peachtree Cafe. It's legendary already. And to be able to be here is a little bit like feeling, I don't know, like a small mountain priest is coming to the Vatican, not in a religious meaning, but in terms of greatness. And I met Geshe Michael 15 years ago. The first time I met him was through a book, like many of you. And that was a watershed moment for me, because there's a life before you hear the band, and there's a life after you hear the band and understand that the world comes from you. Then I started to meditate and study like a mad person for a couple of years. In 2009, I met Geshe Michael physically. In 2010, we did the first DCI event in Europe, the infamous volcano event, because the weekend where Geshe Michael and his team were supposed to come, the volcano in Reykjavik broke out and no planes could land. So I learned a thing or two about purifications at that time. And then soon after that, I met Maria, because I actually listened to what Geshe was teaching in terms of the DCI level 4, how to create a partner. And I thought, you know, I don't have to tell anyone, but can try it out. And it actually works. So that was another huge, that was also a very huge moment in terms of seeing how a seed opens that you have worked on for a long time. And I hope that the Gold Club and everything that we are doing in the different organizations helps you to get to that point as well. And then we traveled with the DCI for a couple of years. We also started to teach the, by the way, translators, sorry, I'm going to slow down. Then we started to teach in Kiev the 18 ACI course cycle, which we finished now in last summer in Vienna, actually, number 18. And that's another huge, huge thing to celebrate for me, because it's an unbelievable experience to study those courses and then to pass them onwards. But then about 4 years ago, there was a very challenging moment for both Maria and me, because every good coach, when you come to some level, they're going to throw a challenge to you. And I feel that the situation before we started to work with the Gold Club, which you going to hear more about later in one of the sessions, was very challenging because we didn't know what to do for a couple of months. And then I realized personally that one thing that I really wanted to do was to help other people to help the world also in a way. And so the Gold Club was born. And in the beginning, there was not a lot of faith from my side and from many other people that this would ever work out. Because it's a little bit a crazy idea to ask Russian and Ukrainian speakers to give the credit card and pay money for what exactly? And send it to where exactly? And so, but that's another big thing I think that we're very proud of, that so many people bought into that idea.
Yeah, we love you.
And that's what we need to do. So thank you so much. And we are looking forward to being part of the Peach Tree Show today.
Thank
Thanks
you,
to you,
Geshe
Daniel.
Michael, for inviting us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you so much. We're having guests here. You don't see them, but they're so beautiful and they support you at this university on this day. Thank you for coming.
Back to our moderators, right?
Fun, what is
Or
next?
questions? If people have
Yes.
questions.
Okay, are we back over here? We're ready. We're ready now, and we're over here now. Great. So we're just delighted once again to have this show. And what we're going to have next is a quick, about a 13-minute video with a sister organization, not exactly part of the Worldview Network, but someone that ALL has worked very close with for many years. And in fact, JB and Emma from ALL are going to be the ones conducting the interview you're about to watch. So please enjoy. It's a beautiful story about an organization that works with ALL and somebody that we hope to keep working with in the future. So enjoy.
Today we're here with our friend from BDRC, Jan Ronis, the executive director, to really celebrate an amazing, legendary figure, Eugene Smith. We now are commemorating him with this beautiful book. And he came in from San Diego today just to be with us and share a little bit of the background of how this book came about and to begin the process of giving ourselves a moment to remember Gene Smith, who is a dear friend of the Asian Legacy Library as well. So welcome, Jan.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emma. I'm really grateful for the invitation and have been having just a wonderful time. And I really appreciate this opportunity to speak a little bit, just briefly, about Gene, about our organization and what we've been up to and our partnership together, which has been going on now for many years. Maybe I should start with Gene Smith, E. Gene Smith, Ellis Gene Smith. He was born in 1936 and passed away in 2010. So it's been over 12 years now since then. Gene, there's so much we can say about him. And if you want the fuller picture, read the book. But really, he should be judged by his impact and what he left behind. So Gene did a lot over many decades, but I think we can talk about Gene 1.0 and Gene 2.0. Gene 1.0 started in the 60s. In 1963, 64, Gene was a PhD student at University of Leiden and went to India on a grant to meet some teachers, gather some books, basically do research for his PhD. And because he was such a brilliant scholar, he had a really bright career in academia, and he could have easily just had some excellent interviews, collected some books, gone home, written an amazing dissertation, better than what anyone else had done to date, ended up at an Ivy League school and just lived a comfortable life. But he didn't follow that path. In 1964, there in New Delhi, he understood that the precious scriptures were not well protected because there were just other very important concerns that their custodians needed to deal with. And so he thought that maybe he could intervene in some way to help gather together, catalog, and even reproduce, duplicate, and then distribute widely these precious texts. And so after getting situated in the area, he met various teachers, inquired into which sorts of institutions could help him. And he ended up at the Library of Congress because of their funding scheme. There was a way that he could convince them to sponsor the reproduction of the books. So he did that. So over the course of 20 years in New Delhi, he, along with his many partners, reproduced over 8,000 volumes. And each of these volumes has hundreds of pages. And so there's a magical story here, but in brief, Gene was able to convince the printers and the Library of Congress to support the printing of 100 copies of each of these 8,000 volumes. 25 of the volumes were purchased by the Library of Congress and sent to major research libraries around the country. The price that the library paid for those 25 volumes covered the complete print run, which meant that the remaining 75 copies were available for just a few rupees. So in a sense, not only did he just reproduce or duplicate or make a few spare copies of these texts, which were so irreplaceable, but he actually produced so many copies that they circulated more widely, I think, than they ever did before. So really exceptional work. And this was between the 60s and the mid 80s. Then his career took him to other places outside of India. And then upon retirement in the late 90s, he returned to the States, first to New York and then to Boston. And he thought, now with digital technology, digital cameras, the internet, computer databases, and so forth, it's time for a 2.0 preservation effort. This time, let's make it digital. So he returned to the States with a voluminous library of over 10,000 copies, 10,000 volumes of books, and found friends and supporters to help him figure out a way to digitize all of these books and disseminate them widely in the States, in Europe, and in Japan and elsewhere. And so those scholars were also very intent on getting access to these new scans. And so in just a matter of a few years, researchers had available to them very convenient and portable libraries that matched any physical library, in fact, exceeded them in scope, but were so easy to share and pass around and use whenever and wherever. So that's what Gene did, Gene 1.0 and 2.0.
Jen, I have a question. Going back to the 60s and 70s, the Library of Congress, who spent this money, right,
Yes.
in India, two things. It was called, what was it called back then?
Sure. So Gene, being a bodhisattva, as they say, he had great skill and means. And so he investigated the different funding schemes of the Library of Congress and figured out that they
owed
receiving money.
right?
They owed money, yes.
To the American government. They defaulted on a loan, right?
The government of India had been receiving the money and aid from the Food for Peace program.
Right.
And they were supposed to pay it back in cash, and that was just not feasible. And so the Library of Congress and other entities said, well, pay us back in kind. And so there were a couple of hurdles to getting the Library of Congress to support the reproduction and purchase and distribution. You have to produce something that we'll recognize as a book. Who's going to do that? Who has the ability to go through all these books, transcribe the titles, translate them, come up with tables of contents and introductions? I mean, that would be a superhuman feat. And Gene said, watch me, I'm a great scholar. And so of those 8,000 volumes that he reproduced, he wrote the introductions, very scholarly and accurate, for at least 5,000 of them.
That's amazing.
So that's how
And it was
done.
called the PL
The
480.
PL 480 program, Public Law 480. So in a sense, I just talked about Gene 1.0 and Gene 2.0. We could say PL 480 1.0, PL 480 2.0. Yes, the public law.
Maybe I'll ask you about this beautiful book. I
Oh,
would
sure.
absolutely recommend it to anyone, but I wonder if you could tell us about how this book came to be.
Sure. So the book is called Digital Dharma, Recovering Wisdom. It was published in October of 2022 through Wisdom Publications. And as JB mentioned before, the main creator of the book is a filmmaker who followed Gene around in 2008 and 2009 when he returned to India and Nepal bearing many, many gifts. So TBRC, Gene's organization, was founded in 1999. And as I mentioned before, he intended to digitize all of his texts. Well, it took a while. It took several years before he had a critical mass of works. But by 2008, he really could say that on a single large hard drive, one could find essentially the entire literary tradition.
I remember he said that in the film
Yes,
when he handed it over to a high, practitioner.
yes,
He said, it's all there, complete. And he just handed it to him and it was like,
yes.
there we are, 2.0.
And it was, yes.
Yeah.
So this book, it's a photographic book, and the content was created on these tours of India and Nepal when Gene went to meet with his old friends who he'd partnered with decades before, and gave them all hard drives and encouraged them to open up the hard drives to see what was in there, take what was relevant to their traditions, print them, input them, but essentially turn them back into books that would be read and contemplated and practiced.
Amazing.
So that's the book.
Yeah.
So we have medical texts, astrological texts, histories, biographies, poetry, and then all the major periods and writers and traditions. And so digitizing that alone would have, been enough. Exactly, enough. And it took a long time. It wasn't finished, and sadly, until after Gene passed away. Gene passed away in 2010, suddenly in December, the night he returned from one of these long trips to Asia to distribute the digital copies of the books. And then the work digitizing his library ended a few years after that. And so at that point, the organization was at a crossroads. What more should they do? Because at that time, the organization didn't have access to very many other major libraries in Asia, not like we do now at the National Library of Mongolia. And so some of the major leaders of the organization thought, well, at this point, BDRC can either sort of reduce its scope and go into a kind of a maintenance mode and simply offer the initial archive available for free online perpetually, or it can scale up.
Jan, it's been wonderful to have you. And I'm thinking about the 95,000 users of your database who are probably translating these great wisdom traditions. And how that enters our world is going to be an amazing 100-year, I think, experience as this goes into mainstream. And we want to thank you for coming. And we want you back for the 25th if you consider coming back.
It would be my honor. Yes. I want to come back and report back on what we've done and show you some of the baby steps we've made towards PL 480 3.0. And we can't do it alone. So, let's work together towards a really prosperous 25th anniversary for BDRC and for the project we're working on
And
together.
Emma and I are just, so fortunate to work with you and your team. It's been an amazing adventure doing what we're doing together in Mongolia, especially. Yeah. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you. I mean, as I mentioned, when we were faced with that dilemma of whether we sort of wind down or scale up, I alluded to the fact that at that point, BDRC, given its network, didn't really have access to anything like the National Library of Mongolia. It was your path-breaking work, your tireless work, knocking on doors and establishing trust over a long time that got you into the National Library of Mongolia. So we're really benefiting from that.
We're having a good time together, and Emma and I are
Yes.
kind of, really connected to making this go forward, and finishing that collection is essential for the world to see. Yeah.
I mean, I said we have 35,000 volumes in our archive.
Right.
National Library of Mongolia has 40,000
42,
volumes. So if
41,
we
yeah.
scan it all, it's going to double the BDRC archive just from one project.
Who knows
Let's
what's
do
in
it.
those bins? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you
so
all,
wonderful
yes.
to talk with you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow. What do you think, Daniel? This project is very, very cool.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's a very interesting story. It's very similar to a lot of the goals of the ALL organization, and sounds like some cool stuff is ripening in the world to keep these beautiful, amazing wisdom lineages alive. So we're very lucky.
These guys are like real Indiana Jones, you know, they go into the mountains, into the desert. They found recently, well, you know, the project in LLA, in one of the ancient like buildings in the middle of the desert, they found like some ancient text of wisdom. And if you think about it, it's very interesting. Imagine how this world would be without any wisdom that allows us to keep growing, to become better people, to transcend the limits of what we thought is possible in this reality for better.
Yeah.
Like we will be what? Just, I don't know, watching TV like right now. But it's really a beautiful job that they are doing. So I'm very grateful that somebody's doing it and
Yes.
giving us all the opportunity to have shows like this.
So thank you very much, BDRC, for
Thank you.
existing and for helping us and for working with us. We look forward to the next interview with BDRC coming up in the near future.
They are doing a really important job for this world.
Cool.
Really.
So what do we have next?
So yeah, as we say, we are celebrating. It's a birthday. Come on, audience, please cheer up. Birthday party.
Fourth anniversary.
Yeah, fourth anniversary. So we want to hear more. What's a gold club?
Gold Club.
The Gold Club. And how did it start? It's like what? One day you just wake up and you're like, okay, let's do a club, or what? Like, what's the purpose of it? How do you create it? What obstacles did you have to face?
And before we cut over to them, don't get, you guys got to stay glued to your screen, okay, during the whole show, because coming up after them, we have Geshe Michael Roach giving a special surprise teaching. So
That's true. That's true. And we don't know. Yeah, we don't know what he's gonna teach. We don't know either. He's a surprise. It's a birthday present surprise. So it's exciting for us as well. Like he has been preparing to give us this surprise. So, well, first let's hear about the Gold Club.
great, let's go right over to the other set and join our friends.
Hey, hello everyone again. And well, we wanted to tell you our story, how the Gold Club started.
How much time do we have?
Exactly. By the way, do you know why is it a Gold Club? That's an interesting, Peter. Do you remember why is it, the name is a Gold Club? You might be not know this. Do you know, guys, the story? Why the name is Gold
We were
Club?
probably poor and we wanted to have gold somehow.
Yeah. Before it started, so there is one more very good DCI teacher called Stanley Chen from
Who's
China.
that? Never
Who's
heard about
that? I
guy.
don't know. He's actually here. Yeah, now he's making coffee in the cafe. So, but then he created a very good project called Pure Gold.
Right.
With and he was training translators of this ancient wisdom, and I got jealous.
Really?
Yeah, and then when we started to create this project, I decided to use the word gold from the Pure Gold Club. That's the story of the name. Anyway, we are good friends with Stanley, by the way. So how it all started you know that when you start to study the seed system, you understand that teachers who teach you that they are very important, and everything you do towards your teachers is very powerful seeds. So I wanted to help my teachers to plant powerful seeds. And one of my very good teachers is John Brady, who is also executive director of Asian Legacy Library, right? You just saw an interview with him. And one day, it was, I think, in Thailand, there was a Lamrim retreat with Geshe Michael. I think it was 2018, probably. And then we were standing somewhere in the corner of a big room, many people, 500 people listening to Geshe Michael's teaching. And we're standing behind, and then John Brady, you know, he's like that, Maria. I'm like, yes, what? You know, we have problems in ALL. I'm like, yes, what? Can I help you? And he says, well, we need donations. We need to pay salaries for people who are working in this Asian centers who are inputting these books. And we need money. And I'm like, oh my God, what I can do, how I can help? And he said, I don't know, maybe you can help. Maybe you can find some sponsors in the Russian speaking world. And that was the start. So then I started to think, oh my God, I have to help my teacher, but I didn't know how, because at that time, it's like 5 years ago. Now so many people know Gold Club, but at that time there were no Gold Club. Even more, nobody knew that there is such a project who is saving ancient books, and explain people why is it so important is really difficult. Then I came to Peter and I said, how we can do that, how we can bring people and tell them this is important project, let's collect some donations.
I remember that. On a tour, Maria comes to me and she said, JB asked me to help with the ALL in the Russian-speaking world. And my first question was, of course, what did you say? And then she said, I said yes. And I was like, oh my God. Literally, I was thinking, you know, sometimes when your partner is doing something where you don't have a lot of faith, you want to move a little bit away from them because you're like, that's not my project. It's not something I am involved in. But then, as you remember the whole seed story, I tried to imagine how you could convince people, not just convince them because we don't want to convince people. How can you explain to someone that there is actually value in giving money to saving ancient books when at the same time they have the opportunity to give money to, you know, people who have a big problem like in Turkey right now in the earthquake area, or with cancer foundations. There's so many ways you could spend your money when you're already so far advanced that you know that you want to help other people and want to donate. But why is it a good idea to help save ancient books that don't really look like they have an immediate effect on all the more obvious problems in our world? And by the way,
we don't understand why these books are so important.
Right.
How do you explain why these books are important?
How do you explain that that is a worthy cause, right? And I was trained as a salesperson in my life before I met Geshe Michael, and I thought it's a beautiful challenge actually. By the way, Geshe Michael, whenever the question comes, should we donate to save the books or to the earthquake in Turkey, he's always saying both, of course. So that's the answer to that question, right? But still, the challenge remains, how do you communicate to people who never heard about anything that we're doing, that it's a good idea to give your credit card to someone they don't know, send money to an American organization, for what exactly? And that was the starting of the Gold Club really for me.
Yeah, and then we came up with a strange idea. We decided to do because we wanted to explain to people what is LL, what are those books about, why we need to save them. So we decided, let's make a cartoon, a short 1-minute cartoon, where we show how we are finding books, and then what is in these books, and that we need to save them. 1 minute cartoon.
Exactly.
Vimola was helping us, by the way, with that cartoon. Do you remember? Yeah.
And our friend from Kiev, who Vika knows, Max Chabali, he was totally involved. He said, let's do a cartoon because that's relatively cheap and we can do it. And we used the donations from one ACI course. We all put everything there.
Yeah, we put our money to produce. We hired people who did a beautiful drawing. And we were thinking, wow, we were working half a year to create this 1 minute cartoon. A lot of work. And then we are thinking, now we are ready to publish it. And we thought, now we publish and millions of people will like it and will come and bring donations.
My
Everything will be...
meditation was very difficult. I was seeing myself on a throne with millions of people giving money to the book, of loving the video and just saying, oh my God, this is the best idea ever.
Yeah. So guess what happened when we published the video?
We got 1,612 likes.
Yeah, basically like very small amount of people liked it and it didn't become a virus at all. So, but the important thing, we didn't give up.
Yes.
We didn't give up. And at that time, we even talked to very big, famous marketing experts. We said, we kind of want to ask people to make small donations, but every month they said, never ever it's going to work. They said in the Russian speaking world, nobody is going to subscribe and give their credit cards to you. That will never work. That was really hard because you are trying to do something, people will tell you that doesn't work. Still, we didn't give up.
It's a famous idea. When you have a really good idea, don't talk to anyone else. Not because they're going to copy it, but they're going to tell you it won't work and it might take some energy out of your drive.
But if you believe you are doing something good, just don't give up. Try different things. So that didn't work. We didn't give up. So then we had an idea to make an interview with Geshe Michael. Maybe Geshe Michael can explain why is that a good idea?
He's for sure going to encourage us and says it's a...
Yeah, so we went to Thailand and we asked Geshe Michael to give us an interview. We said, we have this idea. We are going to ask Russian-speaking people to make donations, maybe $1, $10 a month. And Geshe's reaction was like, well, I don't have time much for this interview, this strange idea.
No, but he was nice.
He was nice, but kind of I had a
But if you know
feeling,
him a little bit, you could see that he was like saying, okay, good luck with that.
The feeling was that he also didn't like think that it will become something really big and beautiful. So we did that interview and then we started, actually, we organized a group in social media and Facebook at that time. And we started to teach some Shanti Deva rejoicing every day for like 2 months.
Thank you for
some
saying
meditations.
Thank you for saying we, Maria.
And then people start to come. People start to love it. They said, wow, your books are about that. We taught them the pen, the first steps. And then people started like, wow, this is really amazing wisdom. We want to help you. We want to save these books. And people started to come. And that's how Gold Club started 4 years ago.
So for me, I've mentioned it in the beginning already. It's such a beautiful personal example, which is difficult to share even, but we're trying how you can turn a situation where kind of nothing works for you. Really, when Maria said, when I asked her, what did you say to Chevin? She said, yes. I said, well, there is no ALL in Russian speaking world. Like, what do you mean help? Like, there is nothing. What are we going to do? And to turn that slowly into one of the biggest gifts of our life right now, where we feel that it's so rare that we can plant seeds which are completely pure, right? We see that in medicine, like everything has a side effect. Why? Because usually our motivation when we do something has a side effect, and then it comes back like that. But I do feel that ALL and the Gold Club project is a very pure thing, because the people who give money, they can only give the money if they understand what they're doing, because no one would be crazy enough to do it otherwise. The people who get the money do spend their lifetime with supporting saving this wisdom. And we help our teachers to save time, money also, but especially to save time because they don't have to donate. And so for me, and we're trying to tell it all the Gold Club members also, when we have difficult times, when we think about the fact that we're involved in that project, always a light goes up. You know, there's always a reason for coffee meditation. And maybe everyone who is part of this Gold Club team can also do that every evening. And that would be an amazing way to grow this seed, which has happened with us for the last 4 years. So thank you for Maria for not giving up.
True. The teaching is please don't give up, because right now there is over 3,000 people in the Gold Club, and they're all over the world. We became an example for other clubs. There's 17 clubs right now all over the world. I mean, I think it's amazing. So just don't give up. Plant good seeds.
Aren't these guys cool? Man, they're super cool. Hard work. So cool.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. So next we're going to be cutting over to Geshe-la with a teaching. He's going to be teaching for 20 minutes. Then we're going to take a short break, and I'm going to slow down the rate of my speech. And then we'll be back to Geshe-la after the break for another 20 minutes. But I'd just like to say that we're also going to have a Q&A at the end of the talk today. So start thinking of some questions, and don't put them in the chat. Put them in the Q&A, okay, in the Q&A section of the Zoom. And then what was the other thing that Geshe-la is about to talk about?
The auction.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful special material. He will let you know. You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
We have a very cool, exciting item that Geshe-la is going to be auctioning. So we're going to go right over to Geshe-la and let him talk about it.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back, and thank you for having me on your show. I gotta say, I remember the first day that Peter and Maria asked me about this Gold Club idea. I distinctly remember where I was at that moment, and I was going to give a teaching in Thailand, and I was just leaving the hotel, and I have to walk across sort of an outdoor lobby with palm trees and seats, and people are drinking margaritas there. And I have to walk to my teaching place, and I go out of the hotel, and they are sitting under this palm tree in this lobby, you know, and they're like, Geshe-la, come over here, you know. And I'm like, no, I gotta teach a class, you know. They said, just 1 minute, you know, don't worry. And I'm like, okay. And I sat down with them, and then they start to talk about, we're gonna have this Gold Club, and don't worry, you never have to worry again about fundraising to save the ancient books. We're gonna take care of everything. We got this new idea. I'm like, what's the new idea? By the way, I get these new ideas once a week in my email. Let me tell you something right now. I have 54,149 unread emails. 54,000 emails right now, today, this moment. And many of those are new ideas from my friends. Oh, Geshe-la, you know, we're gonna raise money for ALL. We're gonna save the ancient books. And by the way, it's a very necessary thing because it's expensive, okay? I used most of my diamond business money, and it's $5 or $10 million now, to try to pay people. Don't forget, these books, these ancient books are so dark, they're carved on wood, sometimes they're carved on stones. You cannot automatic character recognition, OCR, you cannot do it. You need a human being to look at the carving, and they have to type it. If the piece of wood is too hard, if there's a hard spot and knot, you cannot carve that spot. So they just change the letter, it goes like this, you know, and then you cannot recognize it with OCR. Still, you cannot. You need a human being to type. So we just had the 35th anniversary of ALL, people are typing, and we purposely hire poor people. I met the owner of Hewlett Packard Computer 35 years ago at Princeton. I begged him to help start this project, and he agreed. And that's how we started. And we go to villages all over Asia, and we find poor people, and we hire them, and we teach them. Because in my idea, if you want to help people, give them a job that's important, and they can make money. And then if Geshe Michael goes away, they can keep working, you see? So I don't like to just give people money. So this is not a charity. We are not asking, oh, please give Gold Club money, and then we will give money to these poor people. That's not the idea. The idea is you really help a person if you give them a job that they can do. And if that job helps the world, then it's a double profit, you know? So all these years, and I have to tell you something that you probably don't know. We ran out of money many times, and we didn't quit, okay? I think what we heard from Maria and Peter, the lesson that we learned from them is don't give up, you know, just keep going. And I honestly remember one time about 1990, that project was almost $100,000 in debt. And that's not 2023 money, that's real money in the 1990. You can say nowadays $500,000 or something. And we were in big debt. And those poor people in the villages, we said, look, we're sorry, we can't pay you right now. And they said, you know what they said? They said, don't worry, we'll keep going. You know, we'll eat less. And we were like, wow, thank you, you know. But then we start to feel very uncomfortable that we owe $100,000 to poor people. And they didn't quit, and God bless them, you know, they didn't quit, and they kept working. And then I told John Brady, maybe you guys don't know this story, but he was a big executive in New York City, vice president of the first online shopping company. And it was a big position, and he was making a lot of money. And he was living in one of the most expensive apartments in New York City. It's called Penthouse. It's the top apartment. The Penthouse apartment in New York is very valuable because you can go up on the roof and you can get a suntan, or you can get what's called fresh air. And so it's very valuable in New York. And the most valuable property, penthouse property in New York, is on Central Park. Mr. Trump has his building on Central Park, for example, and his apartment is at the top of his building. And then you've got John Brady is at the top of a skyscraper on Central Park. If you go outside, you can see the Metropolitan Museum, the most famous museum in America. It's right below John's house, you know. And I would go there, you know, when I need a place to sleep, I always ask him, can I stay at your apartment, you know? And he has a special bed that comes out of the wall and called a Murphy bed. And I used to sleep there. And so, you know, one day he said to me, how much is the debt, you know? I said, we owe $100,000 to these poor people, you know? And I'm giving as much money as I can, but it's not enough, you know, and we can't find sponsors. You know, he said, okay, Geshe, I'll take care of it. And that day he sold his apartment, and he gave the money to help pay to save the books. He sold his apartment, you know, and I'm like, John, don't do that. He says, too late, Geshe, I already did it, you know. And so we survived because of John Brady. So here I am in Thailand with Peter and Maria, and they're like, we're gonna solve all your problems, you know. I'm like, yeah. And we're gonna do it with $5 and $6. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that's great. You know, I said, I actually have to go teach, you know. And good luck, you know, they say, you give us your blessing. I said, yeah, bless, bless, bless. And I said, what are you gonna call this project? They said Gold Club. I said, okay, good name, you know, and then I said goodbye, you know, and I thought nothing's gonna happen. Because usually nothing happens after that. And, but I have to say, I think right now it's over $1 million, $1.5 million.
Yeah.
In 4 years with little money, with $5, $3. Okay, I saw one email, one PayPal payment every day. I see it, $1.75 every day from somebody in the Gold Club. You know, I see it on the PayPal. You know, I'm like, God, who's sending $1.75 every day? And then Peter and Maria say, well, Geshe-la, it reached $1.5 million. I said, I told you it was a good idea. And it's very, very important. It's expensive to type by hand. We have to type about, so far, they typed 3 million pages, 3 million pages. Every page, they type 5 times, okay? Every page is typed 5 different times. And then the computer compares them. And that's why we have almost no mistakes in the typing. And I can sit and I'm working on a new book for the mixed nuts. I can search 3 million pages in less than 2 seconds. And that's because we built the database super smart in 1987, and it hasn't changed. We store the data in the computer. It's not on a program. We store the data inside the operating system. It's unbelievable. It's brilliant, if I do say so. And it doesn't depend on any company. Microsoft can go out of business. Apple can go out of business. Tencent can go out of business. Alibaba can say bye-bye. Alibaba, bye-bye. And it doesn't matter for our project. You know, we don't depend on operating system. It's part of the architecture of the computer itself. All computers in the world can use this data from ALL. So it's pretty safe for the whole future, okay? I'm working constantly on new books. Those books go into DCI programs, SCIM programs. We're running a SCIM program right now. This is my day off. And, you know, we're doing programs right now. The program we're teaching teachers for right now is called How to Stop Your Addictions, okay? All kinds of addictions. And this course comes from the ancient books. It's unbelievable. So people, and I use the course myself, you know, I taught this course for 5 years or something. And when I teach the course, I also take the course. And my addictions are getting better and better. I mean, worse than, no, I mean, less and less. And it's so happy, and it makes me so happy. And so really, those ancient books, I like to say they are not going to some university library to collect dust. Usually, the purpose of an ancient book is to keep the dust off the shelf, because the dust goes on the book. And then nobody uses those books, you know. Princeton has 5, it goes down, the library goes down 5 stories underground. So it has 3 stories above ground, but there's millions of books underground. And I think some of those books, nobody touched them for 100 years, you know, and it's unbelievable. So these books, these ancient books that Gold Club is saving, we use them every day. And we use them for real courses that help real people, including the teachers, to cure ourselves of our addictions and things like that. So I'm very grateful to the Gold Club. I apologize, I didn't believe in you in the beginning. But thank you for proving me wrong. And I'm very, very happy to be here on the Peachtree World News. The Peachtree World News exists because of the Gold Club. So thank you for that. My teaching today, and I will get to the teaching for today, is about the latest book I'm working on. I work with the Mixed Nuts. We have 12 great translators. They've finished their books. It takes 5 or 6 years each volume. So some ancient books are really 10 books or 15 books. I think Sugeng's text is going Tim Lonehouse text is going to be 20 books. And each book, it takes about 5 years. And then after we finish the classes at the Mixed Nuts, then those books come to me. By the way it works is there's an organization called BDRC, and you just saw the interview with them. And the founder of that organization was an old friend of mine. He passed away, I don't know, 10 years ago. And he was working for the Library of Congress, which is the largest library in the world. And his job was to find the ancient Asian books and to print them. And so I got to be his friend. He was about 15 years older than me, and great scholar. And he printed personally 10,000 books, printed. And then what this organization does is they produce pictures of those books. So each page, they will produce a picture of the book. So they go all over the world like John Brady, and they find ancient books and they take a picture and then they save it. And I can take credit, okay? Sometimes I take credit for a lot of things that I didn't do, but I can take credit for BDRC gives away their data for free. And I had a big fight with the director 30 years ago. And I said, you cannot charge money for ancient books. You have to give them away for free. He said, how are we gonna support the expense? I said, if you give them away for free, that plants the seed. And then these crazy Gold Club people come up in your life and they raise the money. And that's exactly what happened. So BDRC for 30 years, they are giving ALL the pictures, and then ALL sends those pictures to poor people around the world, and they are typing around the world. And I have to tell you, I met some of the typists recently. I had a trip to Asia, business trip, and I met them. We stayed together 3-4 days, and there's children of the original typists are now typing next to their mom in many cases. So you've got 2 and almost 3 generations people working for ALL, and they are getting paid well. I'm happy to say, partly because of the Gold Club, I don't have any debt anymore to the typers, and that's really good news. So, but let's get to the teaching, Geshe Michael. I'll start today and we'll continue tomorrow. I've been teaching this book. I finished this book yesterday. It's, in fact, I'm working on it right now. It's 530 pages, okay? And every single page, every single word is hard work. So 530 is unbelievable. If you say 200 words a page or something, 300 words a page, every word we have to sweat. Every word is hard work. So imagine 500 pages is thousands of hours of work, you know, and yesterday we finished one. And my wife was dancing around the room. She's like, are you gonna pay attention to me now? I said, nah, I think I'll start a new one. You know? She's like, so we finished it yesterday. It's a great book, and I'll tell you what it's about. I'll give you the title, okay? It's called Great Ideas of the East, is the title of the book. And the subtitle of the book is a survey of 101 enlightening belief systems from ancient Asia. So from the ancient books of Asia, due to Gold Club help, we find the ancient books and there's a special kind of ancient literature called Siddhanta, okay? And Siddhanta is a style of literature that we don't have in the Western countries. So what's that style of literature? They take the many different people's systems and they compare them, okay? So for example, when I was 19 or 18, I got permission to go to India to study society. And I got there. Do you know this story? For 2 days, I didn't go out of the hotel room. I was too scared because everything is chaos and, you know, crazy, completely crazy. And I was like, you know, and I hid in the hotel room for 2 days. It was a tiny hotel. It had 2 or 3 rooms. And finally, the owner knocked on the door. I think he's afraid some foreigner died in his hotel. He said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No." I didn't open the door. I'm too afraid to open the door. And then he said, "Do you need anything? Do you need some food?" I said, "Yes, I need food." He said, "Well, come out. We'll go to a restaurant." I said, "No, I don't want to." Why? It's too crazy here, you know. But something, when you go to a foreign country, you learn something, bad or good, but you learn something. You know, I have friends from Singapore here this week, you know, and I could tell they're learning a lot in Rimrock, Arizona. Some good, some bad, you know. They're gonna go home and tell people, "I was at the Peachtree Cafe." Then those other Singapore people are gonna say, "Is it open yet?" That's the question in Rimrock. And they'll say, "No, but it's very nice." And so when you travel, you find out new things, you get new experiences, and your life is better after you travel. It's not always easy. Sometimes that education in a foreign country is very hard, but you always grow, you always learn something. So what happened 300 years ago in West China, especially 3 writers, they said, "We're gonna write a book, a new kind of book." What's that? Siddhanta. What's that mean? We're gonna compare the beliefs of different countries. And what countries? Those countries disappeared 2,000 years ago. Those countries are gone 2,000 years ago. You know, Gandharva, you know, we're gonna have Gandharva system. What's Gandharva? Is that like a new kind of pizza? No, that was a country in Afghanistan. It disappeared, it's gone. But they had a system of belief, okay? And every country's belief system has something valuable, something you can learn, something you can use in your own country, you see? So the great benefit of meeting other countries, like today we have Ukrainian and Russian organizers meeting together, talking together, and they always learn something from each other. We're gonna learn a new Russian and Ukrainian pancake or something. I heard there's a delicious cooking. I hope so, I heard. And then you learn something new. So this kind of book, which was saved by the Gold Club, is called Siddhanta. And tomorrow, what I'd like to do is take you through some of the great ideas. It's 101 countries' belief system. 101 countries' belief system. And most of those countries disappeared over 1,000 years ago. But there's something valuable in their beliefs, something we can learn. And we can learn the dumb things also. Like, don't do that. You know, sometimes people have an idea and it doesn't work, okay? Like the 100 other fundraising ideas I got, 99 others fundraising ideas, except for the Gold Club, that didn't work. Well, then you can learn something, okay? last thing I'm supposed to do, we had an idea recently. My wife said, clean these old boxes we have a second bedroom, but nobody can sleep there because there's all Geshe Michael's boxes in there. She said, can we do something with these boxes? We want to have guests sometime, like my sister. She can't sleep on top of the boxes. I said, well, it would be a blessing because those boxes are full of the notes in the Geshe course. And those notes go back 50 years. Okay, those notes are notes I took in my first classes before I joined the Geshe course. So this is 50 years ago. And these are my personal notes, and I never throw notes away. I keep them. That's why the sister cannot sleep in the room because there's boxes everywhere. So we had an idea. I have a reproduction of some notes I took. These are 50 years ago. And these are notes I took. I was having a class in the Guide to the Spiritual Warrior's Way of Life by somebody named Shantideva. And I was in the class and I was taking notes. And I was just learning these ancient languages. I'm just beginning to learn. So if you want to have fun and make a good joke about Geshe-la, you can see all the words spelled wrong and written wrong way. And this is my first year of notes. And so we put it in a frame. And we're going to ask you to, we're going to have an auction. You can get, this is not the original, but it looks just like the original because I'm not giving my notes to anybody. And you can make an auction in the chat.
Yes, in the chat.
You can say I'll pay 10 cents for Geshe-la's, and then somebody say 25 cents.
By the way, I personally really want this, so I'm going to start the bidding at $500.
Whoa! I was going to say 100, but so I'm out of it.
I'm in at 5, so you guys want to come? Oh, well, Peter
600.
just outbid me at
We
600.
have a special time for this.
Yeah, so
Okay, we'll do it later.
actually for the rest of the show, okay, by the way, this is going to be auctioned off at the end of today's show.
Whoa, not tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is today's show. So for everyone viewing today, you get a chance for this.
And where
Okay?
does the money go?
Okay, so 50% of the money is going to go for ALL, which is what Gold Club is designed for. So we thought we would keep that up. And then 25% is going to the artist. Generally, that's what we do, right? So we would like 25% to go to Geshe Michael.
The artist donate his part to the ALL.
Okay, 75% is going to ALL and 25% will be for the show to help us with the cost of producing the show.
Yay, okay. Hey,
So
Cut
let's
to-
go to Juan real quick. He's going to talk about something before the break.
yay.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you very, very much for being here. Without you, any of this will have been possible. Any ALL, any P, TNW, anything of anything. So we really, really, really want to thank you. I'm looking forward for the teachings. So, okay, what's next? Take a break, relax, go to the bathroom, eat something, hug your family, and we'll meet again
And get ready for
10
all the
minutes.
QR codes. Take out your cell phone.
Oh, yeah. During the break, we will have music, family pictures, advertising for future programs, and hopefully also rest, bathroom, and the rest.
And just in case you guys actually want to see this, there you go. You can see
A little further.
the Tibetan writing.
No, back, because it's too
I'm
dark.
looking at the screen.
Back. Yes, there. Yay.
So there you go. This has Geshe-la's handwritten notes with the Tibetan and the English.
Maybe Geshe-la will sign it also.
And maybe we can convince Geshe-la to sign it.
For another $100. You can get it signed.
Okay, guys, enjoy the break.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed the break. And feels kind of lonely up here, right? Feels kind of weird.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah.
We're kind of missing somebody. John, we need you up here, man.
What's up, guys? Hi.
The three amigos up here.
Wow, you guys are.
That's the name of a tequila or something. No? I've seen it somewhere.
I wouldn't.
I don't know, but
Wouldn't
I've seen
know.
something like
I
that.
live a clean life, man.
Yeah.
You guys are very tall. Usually they give me sandbags to stand on here. Yeah, but
We'll work on it.
it's okay. I'm very confident. I don't need to be tall. So, well, I'm usually behind the tech table. I just wanted to say hi and remind you that if you missed the QR codes, you can go to our website, peachtreeworldnews.com, and all the events and the QR codes will be posted for you to peruse at your leisure. And we're just really happy to be here. Thank you. I just want to thank everyone in the audience. It's really helpful to have all your good smiles and your attention. And I thank Stanley for the coffee. I'm really buzzing right now. Stanley made us all coffee.
He's really good.
He's good at it.
Really good.
I said, Stanley, can I ask for a cappuccino? He said, you can ask for it. You're probably not going to get it. You'll get what you get.
It might be a latte. But
It was delicious. So yeah, I wanted to encourage you to join us at, if you like what we're doing here, you can sign up at peachtreeworldnews.com and we'll give you sign up with your email and you make sure that you'll know all the events and please support what we're doing. I'm
if
really
they missed
happy.
the last show, where do they catch that?
All the episodes are there. If you missed the last shows and we're really happy. I was on YouTube, but you can click on all the past episodes there. And we're really happy to be unifying. It started as a world peace, right? And how do we do that in our own small way is bringing unity to all our organizations. So we hope that our show in some small way can bring us all together and share all the good things we're doing. And if wisdom is right, hopefully it will reflect in the world being less divisive. And that's our hope in our own small way. So all right, I'm gonna go back to the tech table.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll
Thank you so
see you
much.
guys
Thank you
later.
so much.
Thank you so much.
So on that note, we'll cut right over to Geshe Michael Roach, the continuation of his talk.
Hi, welcome back to Grandpa, Ongnoi, Agong, Abuelo, Grandpa's talk. Do you guys think my wife would come up and just say hi to the audience? All right, here we go. So I've been working, Ben Kramer and I have been working for 6 years on this book about Siddhanta. And Siddhanta is an ancient word. Siddha means to reach something. And maybe you heard the name Siddhartha, which is the ancient prince who became Gautama. And his name, Siddhartha, means to reach the goal. I reached the goal. It's kind of funny because when his name was Siddhartha, he didn't reach the goal yet. And then later he reached the goal. So that's Siddha means that. Then Anta means the end of something. And so the study of other people's cultures and other people's beliefs is called Siddhanta, means reaching the end. And that's a strange idea, right? So why they call this kind of literature, and it became a famous kind of literature in the ancient times, where they compare different cultures beliefs. And I like to say, it's like whenever you travel more than 1 mile from your house and you eat something, you learn something, you see? And I don't know, where we live, if you're very brave, you drive 2 hours to the big city. And it has a thing called restaurants, which we don't have around here. And, you know, recently, Ali, my assistant, took me to Ethiopian restaurant, you know, and I never ate Ethiopian food. And so she said, just try it, Gesla, you know, and I did. I tried Ethiopian food, and guess what? I hate it. So they have a stuff called teff flour, which is very healthy and tastes lousy. And I discovered that I'm happy that I never met teff flour before. And I said goodbye to the teff flour at the restaurant. I said, I'll never see you again. But then the next time we went, she took me to a South Indian restaurant, and they had masala dosa. And now you guys know, if I go to Singapore or Ukraine, like Kiev or Irpin, they say, what would you like to eat? I say, I want a masala dosa. Like, I want Indian food in Ukraine, you know. By the way, I met a new friend in Ukraine called Piroshki, cherry, the thing with the cherry? Nishnya. Now he became a good friend. Yeah, Piroshki Nishnya. Because it's sweet and it's good, okay? So cherry thing. Igor Surzik taught me to eat this. His wife Anya wasn't there, and we ate about 20 of them. He's pretty big, so he ate more than me. So anyway, you meet new friends, you get new ideas, you learn new things. Now, what if somebody built a house next to your house, and it's a special restaurant, and every day they serve different countries' food? And then you can just go next door, walk next door 1 minute, and sit down, and they give you teff, and you say, nope, I had that before. That belief system doesn't work for me. Then they say, well, we have this, you know, Ukrainian bush, yeah, cherry sweet thing. That's what I call it. And I say, yeah, that belief system gets to become part of my belief system. So what happened 300 years ago is these 3 crazy guys from West China, from the east part of West China, they started to write books called belief system surveys. You can walk in the restaurant, you can try beliefs, you can taste belief system from 101 countries. Half those countries disappeared already. And try it on. I know a lady who will go to the store with me, the cowboy store, and try on jeans. I sit in the chair and relax. She tries on jeans, and maybe 5 pairs, 10 pairs. And what we learn is that the same jeans don't fit different people. We all have different butt. Everybody has a different bottom. And some jeans fit me, they don't fit other people. Some jeans fit other people, they don't fit me. And belief systems are like that, okay? So, you know, it's good to try different foods from different countries. Maybe you find something delicious, you start eating it with your wife in Singapore, and then your kids grow up with it, and it becomes part of the family's food belief system. And your 2 boys and your girl, they say, mom cooked this. My mom cooked this. This is part of our belief system. This is part of our daily food. And so what's great about these Siddhanta books is it's like having a restaurant right next to your house. You walk over there, you try different dishes, and by the way, it's not always positive. Sometimes it looks terrible, you try it, and it's delicious, and you say, okay, that's going to become part of the, Shi family's diet forever. And then sometimes you get a new dish, like mabudofu became part of my home diet. Kanji with pork became not part of my home diet. And it's just up to each family. But imagine somebody puts 100 different belief systems in one book, and you could just sit at home and sit in a comfortable chair. You don't have to be like Shenzang and walk for 17 years through 100 different small kingdoms and taste different belief systems. Who's got time to do that? You don't have to do that. You just get the book. We got a picture of the book, I think, somewhere. The green book. Yeah. And that book's coming out any day. My friends at the Diamond Cutter Press, they said, Geshe-la, stop taking advance orders because you always say the book is almost ready 1 year before it's ready. Really, it's almost ready. I think 2 more weeks, but anyway, imagine that you can get a book and just sit at home and try on 101 pairs of pants to fit your bottom. I think I have 2 minutes, right? You guys? Yeah. So no, I'm good. So that's my advertisement for this book. Now, where I'd like to go in this new book. By the way, that new book will become the basis for DCI Advanced Level 3. So every year, once a year, we come out with a new manual. It's usually 300 or 400 pages. It takes hundreds of hours of work, and so every year we make a new book, a new manual. And this year, Advanced Level 3, I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but it's probably 101 pairs of pants or something. But it's about different belief systems. You can read about them, and then you can try it. It's like a new dish from a new country. And imagine how boring is your life if you just eat the same food every day. Imagine America without pizza. Okay, pizza was an experiment. Pizza came from Italy not long ago, less than 100 years ago. And somebody said, hey, try this. This tastes pretty good. And then pizza became, now every town in America, even Rimra, has pizza delivery. So sometimes you find a really delicious dish that you can check it out and you like it. So what I'd like to do in tomorrow's class, okay? There's a thing in the different belief systems in this kind of literature. They check 3 things, okay? It's called Shi, Lam, Dibu. Say Shi, Lam, Dibu. Shi means not Sugang Shi or Shinchen. It means, in this context, it means, how did your life start out? Okay, what was the world when you were born? Okay, what's your country's belief system about the world? How does your people? How does your culture, how does your race or your language group, how do you see the world when the person comes into the world? What's the world look like? Okay, so we're going to cover 5 different ideas. And guess what? Other countries' idea is different from your country. And you can learn something if you taste their food, you know. Sometimes you find out pizza. Sometimes you find out tough, you know. So some things you say, I'm glad my country doesn't have that custom, you know. So that's she. What world did you come into? Okay, Lam means what? Path. If you're from Singapore, path. If you're from other countries, path. And what system or what method you can use to change the world, to improve the world. Okay, you're here 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. How to change it, how to make it better. That's called Lam. Each belief system has its own suggestion how to improve the world that you came into, or the culture that you came into, how to improve it, how to find pizza. Okay, and then Jabu means result, means what's the goal if you take the world you started with when you were born, and then you use this method to improve things. Well, what's the promise of what's going to happen if you try? When you leave this world, how will the world be better than when you came into this world? You see, and that's a very beautiful. And what these authors did hundreds of years ago, they said, for 101 cultures, here's how they see the world that you come into. Here's their suggestion how to improve it. And here's their vision for what the world will be before you leave. You know, it's very beautiful. So we're going to go through that tomorrow. I'm going to go back to John Weisen. You guys ready? And thank you for listening. See you. Thank you, Go Club.
Thank you so much, Geshe-la. We're very lucky to, on a consistent basis, be able to hear such incredible wisdom teachings. So take your pick, huh? Whatever size jeans you wear, all the different sizes are coming up soon. And what else was I supposed to talk about? That's right. That's right. The auction. So just another short reminder that if you guys are interested in winning this beautiful image, John's going to put it on the screen real quick. There's a close-up of the actual handwriting. So we're currently, Peter's winning the bidding, and it's at 600. So just a reminder, you can put your bids into the chat if you're interested. And Juan, what do we have coming up next?
Yeah, so I wanted to check what you think. For me, just listening to Geshe-la talking about how we have to think about how the world is going to be once we leave this world, and how can really use our lives to make it a better place. I think that's very beautiful. And sometimes maybe the case that we don't necessarily know how to make that possible. We need to think about it. We need to learn ideas. We need to check them, and then decide how are we going to use the ones that are useful for us towards this goal. And I was thinking how important it is to give ourselves the time to go quiet and to think about these things, to contemplate, and come up with new ideas on how we can serve this world. How can we grow personally and then use all those new skills to serve other people, to help them grow as well, to make a beautiful place for everybody. So there is a very, very special place who's very conducive to do these things. It's a retreat center, beautiful place. I've been there many times. You even more than I, Geshe-la, many more than we. So we would like you to get to know this place and try to get the feeling of how important it is to give ourselves some time to go quiet, go inside, and that time is going to really allow us to become much better people. So let's check this. Let's check out this place. You'll see.
In our next interview,
Yes.
we're about to show the director of this beautiful place. We had a chance to sit with her and ask her some questions about her job there and what she does and how this incredible place called Diamond Mountain Retreat Center can help us. So let's check it out.
Welcome once again. We are here in our interview exciting section. This time we are together with our dear friend Brigitte from Diamond Mountain Retreat Center. Such an honor, a very cool place to know. So let's check it out. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you for the invitation, Juan.
Very welcome, very welcome. It's exciting. So tell us, you have been the director of Diamond Mountain for the last few years. What is Diamond Mountain about, and what has been your experience being there? Do you like living in the desert? What's going on?
For me, it's the place where your heart and your mind can open. It's in the middle of nowhere. You would not go there in a normal setting. But if you go there, there is no distraction. There is nothing which is coming in. So you have the time and the space to open up your heart and your mind and to dive deeper into what's inside you. That's for me the main thing, to be there.
Yeah, so you both are very familiar with Diamond Mountain. I have been there as well, doing some retreats. What would you say is the most meaningful aspect of having a place like this, and what would you like Brigitte to tell us about it?
I'm just wondering, if I'm a normal person,
Yeah.
do I have to join a program? Can I just come by myself? Are there people there to help me do retreat? Who cooks? Do I have to cook? Does somebody else cook? So if I'm one person who wants to come, can you accommodate me? And if I have a small group or a big group, can you accommodate that?
So we have 4 options. The ones you mentioned are the first 2. You can come anytime for solo retreat. We have beautiful cabins. You don't have to meditate in a cave with spiders. We have beautiful cabins with linen and towels and a full kitchen. Then you have to bring your own food and cook for your own. And we also have prepared small retreat schedules. If you don't have retreat experience, we help you. How do you schedule your day? What do you do during the day? And we have experienced retreaters on site, which can counsel you if you have questions. If you want to come with a group, then we also provide meals and we do all the production for you. And then we have the beautiful option, you can come and volunteer, which is incredible. You plant the seeds for your own retreat if you don't have that at the moment. And then we are also running monthly weekend retreats with beautiful teachers and different topics, which you can find on our website. And I assume somewhere here is a QR code. So these are the 4 options. You can come alone, you can bring a group, you can come and volunteer and support other retreaters to plant the seeds. And then you can come for weekend retreats, which we offer on a regular basis. And then we have several times per year big retreats, like in April and in April, May, and in the fall.
Do I have to join any group, or do I have to be in any kind of a group? Any kind of philosophy, or can anybody come? Like, could a writer come and just write a book there, or something like that?
We welcome everybody who takes the time to have a digital detox, who wants to be in silence and do whatever they want. We have had a lot of musicians, for example. We had writers who want to write books. We had a lot of practitioners of all different kind of meditation practices. So we are welcoming everybody. That the place is for meditators, and go inside.
Well, that's wonderful. And you did mention something about some upcoming programs. So I was wondering if you could tell us just maybe what's like the next program, because the way I heard it, it sounds wonderful. You can go there and you can be by yourself. You take time to unplug yourself from the world. And it sounds like there's people there that can help you if you have questions. So it sounds like a really amazing place to be able to go if you want to spend some time to go deeper and to really focus and get to some stillness in your concentration. But is there any kind of like organized explanations for people that might have questions and want to take those questions a little bit deeper?
Yeah. So the next programming coming up is mid-February, and it has a very beautiful topic which we Westerners normally avoid. The topic is overcome fear and anxiety, and we are meditating about our death, and that helps us to get the priorities right in our life. And it's only a few days, so we offer you the teachings about this topic and learn the meditation, and then you can extend your stay and deepen your practice on that topic. And then in March, we have a very interesting topic on where do you go when you have removed all your negative emotions. Imagine that place where you don't have any negative emotions anymore, no fear, no anxiety, no whatever is the favorite one. Imagine what would a place be where you don't have that anymore. And then upcoming in April, we also have a program which is running since more than 10 years now on the steps how you develop yourself spiritually.
I have a question. So I'm listening about this place. Well, I've been there, but it seems that it's providing a very important service that sometimes we forget. Like we take care of ourselves in different ways, health, food, exercise, and even recreation. But it's not always the case that we save some time for us to go into quietness and into deepen, to check how our minds, our hearts are, and also maybe also to try to decide where do we want to go in life, how can we do it, how can we become better people and help others do the same. What do you think is kind of the biggest benefits of giving for ourselves and maybe even for others, like this time, to have this quality time? Have you seen what benefits have you seen people getting out of it, and what could you say to the audience they could get out of it if they give themselves a chance?
What I see and experience myself doing retreat, and what I see in all the people who are coming to this magical place, is that they are able to deepen their focus, because you don't have all these distractions anymore. You really can think about, as you mentioned, about your life and finish your thoughts without ding, 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 ding on all the devices you have. So you really learn to focus better, which helps you in your life anyway. And the other point is you really do some kind of maintenance of your soul. Because if you don't do that on a regular basis, you're getting imbalanced. You have to take care of your inner life once in a while. And as said, I call it maintenance of your soul. And you need that to be a balanced person and have a happy and content life.
I have a question for you. Maybe a lot of our listeners don't know, but Brigitte works for a very large German company that makes computer chips, and she's a manager there. If you have a credit card in your pocket, it's very possible that her company made the chip in the card, which is a very delicate and confidential business. I know you don't talk about it much. So I'm just wondering, as a business person, you kind of feel like if you go on a retreat like that, you're wasting your time or you know, it seems like you're gonna fall behind at work and other people are gonna rise above you and you're sitting there trying to be quiet. What's your reaction to that question?
It's time invested so good. You can't invest your time better in being quiet and taking care, doing that maintenance, because afterwards you are, I don't know, more efficient, can see the problems and solve them so much easier because you have taken the time. And as Germans, we love efficiency. So that it's really, I have always the feeling when I did retreat and go back to work, it's so much more focused. And I don't waste time at work. It's just you can do the work in 4 hours, which you have done before in 8 hours. I don't know. That's my personal experience, I think.
I just have to say that from my personal time that I've been able to spend at Diamond Mountain, it's an incredible experience. And it's so far everything we've said has sounded kind of like serious, but really when you get there and when you spend time with these people who have cultivated this quietness in their heart and who have really been building up this power, it's a lot of fun. And we spend time together working hard to create really beautiful events, and we have fun. You know, we all get together and we study, we serve, and then we go back out into the world and learn how to bring that and how to spread that fun. So if you're looking for a place to go to, you know, reach stillness and to have a lot of fun and just become a really happy person, for me, that's the result I got from spending a lot of time at Diamond Mountain. So thank you very much for leading the way and for continuing to organize the next generation. We really appreciate it, and we're really happy to have you with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so
We
much.
hope you come back on the show.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming.
So there you go. Diamond Mountain is the place to go. It's really a beautiful place. I have done retreats there, and I have done retreats some other places, and I can say go to Diamond Mountain if you really want to have a real retreat, because the place is so conducive. People are there to help you. They can guide you. They know what you're doing or trying to do, you know, in general. So go there. It's great. It's great. Thank you, Sunam. Thank you for everything you're doing. It's going to be an amazing place over the years. It's getting better and better. So thank you. Thank you so much. What else? Well, just to let you know, guys, you can see Peachtree Cafe World News. We're also in Instagram. Thank you to these guys doing an amazing job in Instagram. I'm very bad at Instagram. But it's amazing. Very beautiful. So you can also get to know and review some content there if you want. We are going to have some special messages from our Golf Club friends. Peter, Maria, are you there?
Oh, by the way, don't forget to put your questions and answers in the Q&A, because we've only got one question so far, so it's going to be a little lonely up there at the end of the show. So please put your questions and answers in the question and answer if you have a question that you want an answer to.
Put it a bit.
Put it a bit? Put it a bit.
All right. Over to the Gold Club.
Over to Welcome back to the Gold Club.
Hello, everyone again. So what are we going to do, Peter?
We're going to do something very serious and very important, I think.
Uh-oh.
Well,
I started to get nervous.
That's okay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about mental images and the importance of using the things that you see in the right way. And we're going to show a video at the end, I believe.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have fun also.
That's your part.
Oh, that's my part. Okay.
So listen, guys. First of all, I want to know where's everyone from? You know, we see the chat running. I don't see details, but can all the people who are online right now just type the city where you're right now? And if you moved recently, you can also type the city where you came from before that. And even the people here, like, which cities are you from? Some of you I don't really know.
Rimrock.
Rimrock, okay. Alison, you also from, where are you from? Do you know where you're from right now?
Originally Xiamen, born in Xiamen.
Xiamen.
Yeah.
Xiamen. The gentleman and the lady in the back. Singer, you?
I came from Indonesia, but now I'm living in Singapore.
Where in Indonesia? Which city?
Jakarta.
Oh, wow, that's a big one. This,
Commander, Taiwan.
Hsinchu.
Taiwan.
Thank you, welcome. Rosa, where are you from originally?
Dominican Republic.
Oh, wow.
God.
Which city?
Santo Domingo.
Santo Domingo.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Shenyang.
Shenyang.
China.
China. Vimala, where are you from actually, by the way?
Buffalo, New York.
Really? That's cool.
Wow.
Okay. Where are Gold Clubbers from?
Yeah, let me tell you. So we have people from Romania,
That's not a city, but
from
it's
Rome in Italy,
Wow.
Kiev, Australia,
also not a city.
Moscow, Russia,
Yay.
Singapore,
Dnipro.
yeah, Dnipro, Ukraine, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Bulgaria, Spain, Germany, England,
Oh my God.
Vienna, Guadalajara, oh my
Everywhere.
God,
Helsinki.
Latvia, Helsinki, Finland, Nizhny Novgorod, oh my God, I love you. Ukraine, Kharkov, many people, yeah, Russia, Ukraine, Stockholm, Sweden even,
Oh, wow.
Belarus,
Cool.
Estonia, wow, all over.
So, dear guys from everywhere, in the Gold Club, we have a beautiful tradition. We decided that because everything we're doing is seeds, right? It comes back. One way or another, it comes back. Like it or not, it comes back. And we decided when we wanted to grow the Gold Club, we didn't want to just have a certain amount of money per month. We wanted to have always enough money so that Geshe-la and JB probably never have to worry about it. We decided we needed marketing money. And a couple of years ago, Maria said, well, how can we get marketing money? And I'm a football fan, soccer. I said, well, these guys, they usually send t-shirts and hats and shawls and all kind of thing. Let's do the same. So we started a beautiful activity. We started to create a Geshe t-shirt. I think only 14,
12 or something.
I don't know, couple of pieces. And we said, we printed the last, answer of the Geshe course on the back of the t-shirt in Russian, which is the truth is stronger than the lie, meaning suffering will end eventually.
Yeah.
And we started to auction them. First, Maria said, we're going to sell them for $25. I said, hell no. we're going to make a big deal out of it. Why? Because if we can load things with meaning, they become meaningful. And if a person then wears that t-shirt and they remember that every suffering will end eventually, this is a super valuable t-shirt. And some of them we sold for, do you know how much? How much did we sell them? $2,500 for one t-shirt. It kept our marketing budget for Asia, for Gold Club going for a couple of years, actually.
Well, months.
Okay, right, too excited. So let me ask you something. Who of you knows the Bacardi commercial? There's a famous, you know what Bacardi is?
Nobody here knows what Bacardi is.
It's a rum
Peter.
thing. When I grew up at university, there was a beautiful commercial about Bacardi where pretty girls and boys were running on a beach and they were drinking rum and they were very happy. And I was thinking, is that true? Like if you do drink a lot of rum, like say you drink for half a year, half a bottle of Bacardi every day, is that how you're going to look like later, like these beautiful people? You know, are you going to be happy and healthy and fantastic? And we all know that's not true. But this is how commercials work in our world, right? We promise sometimes something where there's no connection, like fast cars and girls. Or maybe that works. Maybe that works, I don't know. Or you drink something and then suddenly you look beautiful. And somehow we are very used to that these ideas and concepts are not always correct and true. Why are we talking about that? There are some ideas that are true. And one of the ideas that are true is that everything that you see, everything that you do and connect with a certain intention will give a result to you. So for me, being able and allowed to, for the first time, I believe, ever, auction original notes from Geshe Michael Roach and give you the possibility to buy them online and offline, where you just type into the chat your name and the amount of money that you want to offer for this. And we guarantee you will get it to you. You know? The $2,500 t-shirt that we auctioned in Kiev went to Chicago, actually, to Olga Kisil, and we delivered it. So this will also be delivered to you no matter where you are. But think about it. What if you wake up every morning and instead of seeing a white piece of wall or some kind of image of nature, which is beautiful, or some kind of drawing, which might be beautiful, but it's not going to do much for you, honestly. Imagine you wake up every morning and every day you do connect by looking at the notes that Geshe Michael wrote in the beginning of his studying career with everything that he's done after that. So that's why Maria said, don't offer $600. It's a lot of money for the Russian speakers. $600 is a joke for this thing.
Wait, so this is 50 years old, right, Geshe? 50 years old. Imagine it's like when Geshe Michael only was thinking how he's going to start teaching seed system. It's the beginning of everything. If you want to have any successful project in your life, maybe you're starting something, maybe it's a good idea to rejoice because we know how many good things came out of these notes. 14 organizations successful. And
the ACI teaching,
the DCI, everything.
The Diamond Mine, the Beech Tree Shop. It all started by studying that wisdom. And so I am your Bacardi commercial, okay? I'm not a pretty girl, sorry, but we have one here.
Wait, we have a first bet. Okay, let's start with 0. And there is a first bet from Ukraine, from Maria and Taras. We know them, it's very good friends, and they say $100.
That's okay. That's a first
from Ukraine. They're in Kiev.
Thank you. Okay. So I already, I'm sorry, but I'm not going away from that. I already offered 600 because I think I'm going to buy it for more than that. Because the Bacardi commercial is not true, but I think if you understand the pen, if you understand seeds, what I'm saying is true, that you do connect with that person. If you look at that writing, and it will do something with your mind, and it will do something with your life, no matter what happens later. And it's not a drink that you put on in, I don't know, a minute, and then it's gone and you get a headache.
Well, let me explain because people don't understand. Are they supposed to write these certain things? Let me, because the auction is online is happening. They started with $100, then there was already 150, then 200, then 250.
1,000.
Where? Who?
Indonesia.
Oh my God! From here? From
Jambi, good. 1,000. So we had 1,000.
1,000. Somebody offered $1,000 from Indonesia, guys.
And then I'm thinking, like I'm also guilty of Netflix. It's a new addiction. What does a good movie do for you?
There's
$1,200 from Rimrock.
$1,200 from Rimrock. $1,500 from Indonesia.
Finally, you understand what I'm talking about. So, sorry? So think about what what you see, how it affects your mind, and what you can do with it. And many people have tankas on the walls, and they have pictures that remind them of things. That's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a cool thing. But if you know Geshe Michael, if you know what he has done, and every time you look at that thing and you rejoice in it, you basically replant the whole amount of his work. 50 years of teaching, of influencing this world. How many books have you written? 100 books.
100 books.
And this is how it started. And you want to have that for 1,500? No, I'm not giving it away actually for the moment.
Well, give opportunity to Peter. He doesn't want to give it to anyone.
Where do we stand?
Okay, guys, special surprise. We have a $1,500 bid that just came in to outbid the $1,200. And because we are pretty much out of time, in fact,
can I buy more time?
Right, that's too expensive for any of us to afford, unfortunately, at this point.
So then, for the last chance, $1,500 to where? Wait a moment. Do the notes have a backside also?
No.
Should have.
So
to Jambi, 1,500 for the first. 1,600. From where?
2,000.
Wow.
2,000. From where?
Just have 2,000.
Wow, 2,000.
Looks like
Tatiana Lemesheva, 2,000.
From where, Tatiana?
I don't know. Tatiana, where are you from? So last chances.
$2,000 to Tatiana.
From Moscow.
From Moscow.
Wow.
For the first.
One.
I say we call it right there.
22,000.
Oh my goodness.
2,200.
22,000 or 2,200? I heard 22,000. That's okay.
2,200.
2,200 for the first.
To where?
Jambi.
Jambi.
For the second. 2,200 for the.
Wait, because it's a little delay.
There's a time delay to Moscow.
Let's wait.
Somebody also put a $2,200 bid, so they might be willing to outbid.
Yeah, let's see.
Julia, 2,200.
But it's a tie.
Julia, 2,200.
But
it's a tie.
It's a tie.
Okay,
So
guys.
one has to say 2,200.
to-
wait, 2,300 for Moscow,
2,300.
Tatiana.
Okay. 2,300
2,300.
for the first, for the second, and for the.
Oh my God.
Who?
Who?
2,400.
Jambi, 2,400.
Okay, I want to know the person from Jambi now. But it's 2,000.
Wait, 2,500.
2,500
Moscow.
from
Moscow.
Moscow.
Yay.
2,500 to Moscow for the first, for the
Okay,
second,
going once, going twice, and
for the third.
Tatiana from Moscow, congratulations. This is really special, very special piece.
You sure you want to give it away?
Not sure, but we will send it to you for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great. So,
Thank you,
so
Brenda.
we just want to say we've actually gone a little bit over our show time. As usual, if you need to go, you need to go, but we still do have a short question and answer as a bonus for anybody who would like to stay with us. We'll do about 5 to 10 minutes of question and answer with Peter, Masha, and Geshe-la. So we'll do that.
And Vika.
And Vika, of course,
Sorry.
forgive me. So Geshe-la, Vika, are you ready for the question and answer? Yeah, let's just go straight to it. Do we have questions for him?
We're gonna have to collect questions from this audience.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you can ask them also that
Great.
they will come. So 2,500 to Moscow.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
So there is there is a question from the audience from some anonymous attendee that says, I want to start my company. Any advice? That's all they say.
Oh.
Geshe, you're an expert. Like, looks like.
No, you guys do it.
Okay, you want to do it?
Yeah, for steps. The easiest way to start something new is to start to do 4 steps.
Give an
My-
example
By
with your company.
For example, when I wanted to start my company, Diamond Wisdom Institute, I decided what I want and I put it in one simple sentence for myself, right? What is valuable for me. So do it for yourself, why you want to do it. Then, second step, what is the second step? Maybe the audience already knows. You can put in the chat, right? So find the person who wants the same. And now, everybody wants something, right? Everybody wants to run their business or to start their new projects. A lot of people around you. So find one who is the most need your help, for example. And the first step, help this person, just do it. Help this person to start the project and be happy about this. So do your coffee meditation every evening and be happy that you are helping another person to start their business. This is my advice. What do you think about this? Yeah?
Agreed.
I think it's 100% the best what you can do in this situation.
I'll add one thing is that, you know, a lot of times, like when we're starting this cafe, you say, we don't have time, you know, it sounds nice to help other people start their business, but when you start a business is when you don't have time. And I would say, take the time. And very important for me is have fun. So when you find the other person, when you help them start their business, for my experience is just have fun. Life is so short. And first of all, have fun helping the other person. And then do it. And don't say you don't have time because your life is gonna go by very fast. So, you know, help other people while you have the time, while you have the chance, help other people. You guys have any ideas to starting a business?
Well, I just, when the question came in, I realized that, you know, our business as an online teaching organization, Pink Diamond, started after we started the Gold Club. So and we didn't even think about it much.
And honestly, true, we have a pretty successful online company, and our seed partner is Gold Club. We give some percentage every month to Gold Club, and then really our business is growing. Even last year, which was very difficult for the Russian-speaking world, we still grow every month, and it's unbelievable because we have a seed partner, and every month some money, 10% we give to our partner, to the Gold Club. That's how we grow.
But what do you think? We can help only with the money?
Of course not. And by the way, I mean, we are helping some other people and organizations. You can help with your time by giving advice. It's not only money, of course.
And, you know, one of the things that I think is sometimes could be overlooked a little bit when you hear the first steps is, if the better you understand what you're doing, the more powerful the seeds become. So if you study emptiness more, if you come to the mixed nuts, if you study DCI or ACI, then you as a planter become more powerful and the seeds open more quickly.
That's so true.
That's a good thing to know.
You guys got another question for us?
One more, but it's in Russian. We need translators.
Yeah, I can do it.
Really?
Okay.
Last question.
Last question for today.
Can you say it?
Ooh, okay. Hello. If a person saw emptiness directly, after that person cannot create negative karma anymore? Question mark.
That's one person to ask.
Yeah. Можно ответить по-русски, да? Язык. Если прежде мы еще видели пустоту, и потом совсем, к сожалению, это возможно, что еще будет это хуже. Dumati, da.
Ooh.
I'm afraid that even after you see emptiness, it's possible to have bad thoughts.
Oh my God.
Because that's just the beginning of the process. Это только начинает процесс, начало процессу. Это чистый, да. So it's only the beginning of the process. And I like to say it's like you got cancer. And that's a strange example. But cancer starts in your body someplace, and then it starts to spread. The cells split, and then the cells 2 becomes 4, becomes 8. And that's what happens when you see emptiness directly. The purity inside, I like to say living diamond. The purity starts at that moment. So that cancer cell, good cancer, starts to spread at that moment. But it takes time. It takes quite a while before you can use what you saw to stop all your bad mental habits. And that just takes time. But if you don't see emptiness, it's like you have cancer and you don't know. And it will just get worse and worse. So that's the beginning of the purity. And so, yeah, people who have seen emptiness directly, they can still get upset. They can still want things that they shouldn't want. It's still possible. But they are what we call stream enter. They are on their way out. I saw a movie with Jackie Chan. Maybe you saw it. It's a mix with India and China. And he's saving a beautiful Indian lady. They are in a mousetrap factory, and she gets her foot stuck on the conveyor belt, and she's going and there's a knife that goes choo, 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 and she's on this conveyor belt, and her feet are stuck, and she's going choo, 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 and there's a knife going choo, choo, choo. And of course Jackie Chan saves her. But it's like when you see emptiness, you put your feet in the glue. And then you are headed towards a beautiful place, and you can't stop it. Even if you want to stop it, you can't stop it. So it's a nice problem.
Such a great metaphor, right? Keep posted your questions. We will answer them to you tomorrow. And join us tomorrow.
Come in, Bob. Yeah, cool. So that's the end of today's show, guys. We're gonna be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Arizona time, same time as today. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
More fun tomorrow.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
And another auction.
They don't know that it's a surprise.